Hey everybody, this is Kara Crosswhite Brindle. Welcome back to another The Pivoting Practice. This is a video series all about diversifying your income, battling burnout, and frankly, fighting boredom as a mental health professional. Today I have Gabrielle with us, and she's going to talk about her pivot and her practice. Gabrielle, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to
Yes,
see you.
I know. All of the viewers know at this point in the series that like all of these people are my friends, my colleagues. I'm so lucky.
We got a good group of people going in this community.
I do. And all of us are Coloradans, which this is probably just what I'll call a Colorado version, because I'm sure
hmm
I can do other pivoting practices with people outside of our state. But it's pretty awesome that I had this many people in our community who were like, yes, doing amazing things. So,
Yeah,
on that note, how about you introduce yourself and what you're up to now? Because I know you're doing some cool stuff.
sure. So I'm Gabrielle. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I actually live in Sarasota, Florida now. I moved here 2 years ago in the middle of the pandemic to be closer to family and to live my life dream of never shoveling snow ever again. So
I love it. Check.
Yep, I'm done. Check that off the bucket list. So, I owned a group practice in Colorado called Colorado In-Home Counseling, and we focused on pre-COVID doing in-home counseling mostly with older adults and people with disabilities, and post-COVID all telehealth with a little in-home thrown in when it was safe again. So I moved and my practice was always remote. So, like we didn't have an office, and all of my clinicians that worked for me were out in the field or working from home. So it wasn't really too much of a big deal when I moved, except for the time change for me.
Sure.
Um, and we grew to, well, there's been some ups and downs. At our biggest, we were 13. Now it's a lot smaller. And I actually sold my group practice at the end of 2021, and I'm still working there as the clinical director.
Oh,
And I also have some things I do on the side, consulting and training.
amazing. And this is why I asked you on here, Gabrielle, is because a lot of people, maybe in their best moments, their worst moments, they fantasize about selling their business and having that be lucrative, right? Of like, oh, this
Yeah.
is a pivot for you. So talk to me about what inspired you to say this is a direction I want to go.
Burnout was very big,
I hear that.
very big motivation there. And I actually had just thought about it. And I talked to a friend who's in a different industry where people buy and sell businesses all the time. And for me, I was like, I didn't think that people did that in like mental health. I didn't think that was something you could do.
Yeah,
But she was like, you can. And so we ran some numbers, and I was like, nah, it's not enough. I don't know if I would do it for that. I'm just going to see what happens. And that was over the summer. And then like maybe 2 months after we had that conversation, I got a phone call from somebody saying that they represented a person in a different state who's interested in acquiring my practice. And I was
wow.
like, this is spam. This is like when they call you and say your car warranty is running out. I'm
Yeah,
not going to call them back. But my same friend was like, you call them and see what it is. And that's exactly who it was. And that's who ended up buying my business. And there were a lot of ups and downs.
mhm,
And ultimately, there were just a lot of things happening in our field and with me that I had just felt like it had run its course for me running the group practice. I was having a lot of issues with insurance. I was having a lot of issues retaining staff
mm,
because of other bigger companies coming in and being able to offer more than I could.
sure.
And I just felt like this was the best thing for me to not be so stressed, and for my therapist to be able to still get paid well and get tons of benefits. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So I imagine as you've kind of now lived that pivot of now being in the director role and having it officially sold and being run by those folks, what would you say has been most rewarding in that change?
honestly, the amount of stress and liability that has been taken off of my plate has been life changing.
I can imagine. Yes.
um, before, I mean, at our biggest, like I said, we had 13 people and I did everything, which when I look back on it, I don't really know how I did that. But when I was in it, of course, I was like, oh, it's fine. I don't need a biller. I don't need an admin assistant. Like
Mm,
I did all of the things and I was still seeing clients. So
wow.
it was a lot. And now we've just recently finally integrated pretty much everything. So now I see a couple clients a week, which is good for me. And I get to be more in touch with my team and do some of the admin stuff, supervision stuff that I enjoy
Nice.
doing more.
Awesome. So lots of rewards, obviously, as you're getting used to this new role. It's an
Yeah.
adjustment. Wait, is
Yeah.
there anything that's challenging about it that you would want viewers to consider if they're thinking about selling and moving into a director role?
There are going to be a lot of ups and downs. It's a big emotional roller coaster. I think some of the biggest shocks to me were just in the purchase agreement. It was it's pretty intense, I guess is the word I would say, and that's pretty common. So I think people think that you just sell it and then you're done, and that's not how it works. I mean, think about
Right.
if you were buying somebody's practice, you want the owner to be there to help facilitate things. So
Yes.
people seem really surprised about that. But usually there is some sort of clause in there that you have to stay on for a certain period of time.
Hmm.
Um, you have to sign a non-compete. So you have to kind of see it through. It's not like you're just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. You're still
Right.
involved, but you have less control. So it is a
Mhm.
big change.
Absolutely. Well, and everything you've said, I definitely have heard from when I did a different video series. I interviewed people who sell businesses, and that's what they said about mental health is usually you're still the face of the business. You're in a
Mhm.
director role because they don't want the staff and the clients to question the shift, right? To go into a complete
Exactly.
different leadership. So there is a purpose to that. But yes, like 1 to 2 years, sometimes 3 year commitment for people
Yeah.
to phase out gently.
Yes. Yes.
So I agree. It is a challenge though when you're maybe in burnout, being like, I want to do this and I can't.
Yes, exactly. Like I just want to sign it and be done, but that's not how it works. And that is not what would be best for, our clinicians and our clients in the
Sure.
community. So I'm good
Yeah.
with it.
Very thoughtful of you. Where can people reach you if they want to talk to you about this further? The process of selling, the process of moving into a director role. Like I imagine, people may have some questions for you for a consultation.
Sure. I'm always happy to help. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. It's all my name, just exactly how it's spelled. And I do add, I add people on Facebook for professional reasons. So you can add me there, or you can book a consult with me directly on calendly.com/Gabrielle JV.
Perfect. Yeah, I was gonna say people are probably gonna want consult with you. And I was like, how do they do that? That takes time away off
Yes.
your plate.
Yes. You can go
Perfect.
directly to Calendly. There's a 10-minute free consult call, or you can email me.
Nice. Awesome. Well, is there any last thought you would have for viewers who are considering selling their business or moving this direction sometime in the future?
I think that it was a very difficult move for me to make for a lot of reasons. I had like an identity crisis, like what am I going to
Mm,
do? There was some shame from people
mm,
about, that I was like a failure and I should just like ride this wave out, and that's what entrepreneurs do. So there are many paths that one can take in this field and in life. And that is something that my business broker, actually, who became my therapist, even though he didn't want to be, he was like, you need to look at the big picture. This is just one stepping stone into whatever you want in life. Cause I was just so focused on like this moment right here, right now.
mm.
So if you can look bigger, I think that helps.
Absolutely. I love that as the last thought or the last thing to consider because, I just appreciated how open you were with saying, hey, I've sold the business and this is what's happening. I'm sorry to hear that you got some flack from people about that. I actually really admired that you were saying, this is what I did and I'm happy with it.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, I think it opens the possibility for other people, which is why I'm so happy you're here on this video series to normalize that is an option. Some
Yep.
people have no idea. They just think I'm just going to do this forever. I'm like,
Yep.
no, how realistic is that?
Yeah, you don't have to.
Exactly. Well, perfect. I'm so appreciative of you. I'll make sure to have your contact info below the video so people can reach out to you or connect through Calendly if they want to talk to you further about this. I just really appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Viewers, stay tuned for more therapists and entrepreneurs that are coming on talking about pivoting in their practice. We'll see you next episode.